Hey, Adam here. If you're like most people, whenever you're asked to put together a presentation, the first thing that you think of is the things that you want to share. So like, what's my topic going to be? How am I going to organize my content? What's my title going to be? Like those types of things. What most people don't stop to do is they don't stop to think about who their audience is, where they come from, what kind of experiences they've had that's going to impact the messages that you're sending out. So how are they going to receive it? Those kinds of things. And that's of utmost importance, right? Because the fact that you gave a great speech is not the end all be all if they didn't receive it well, right? And so a lot of what we do in this class is just getting you out of your own head and into the heads of the people that you're trying to talk to in order to make you a better communicator. So that's what we're doing today. Our lesson's called Communicating with Humans, a word on gender, race, ethnicity, culture, those kinds of things. All right, so just a quick recap. Here's where we've been so far in the class. We've talked about the 5 characteristics of an effective presenter. So a couple ways that you can think about your performances to think about how you can get better, right? Number 2, we talked about the process for putting together any presentation. So for us, remember the presentation itself is just the tip of the iceberg. We want you to also do all the other things well too, from gathering information to writing objectives to picking which visuals you're going to use, etc., etc. And then you've all at this point started working on your training demo, which is the first sort of format or medium of talk that you're going to be encountering in this class. So, by the way, I hope you all like my soothing background music. I found it on royalty-free music. I love that the font is written with like papyrus from it's like this was clearly made on Microsoft Word. Anyway, okay, so here we go. All right, so here we go. So our objectives for today, we want you to start to think like your audience, right? So what's going on in their heads? We're going to teach you a couple common factors that will affect the way that your message get received. And then we're going to teach you to adapt your presentations to fit your audience. We'll have kind of a, go through some of the big factors. And then at the end, we're going to kind of put it all together and thinking about like, how do you change the way that you give your talks to match the people that you're talking to, okay? So here's our overview for the day, things we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk a brief history of communication models, like super brief, there's 2 slides. And then we're going to talk about the audience analysis that you do in a class and sort of the big factors to consider. And then we're going to talk a little bit about how culture affects the communication. And so in this lesson, I actually gave you readings, right? Oh God, I got to read something. So, definitely seek those out and do them. I cut them down to just the parts that I definitely wanted you to see. So you can thank me for that. I cut out probably 15 pages off of the chapters. All right, so when we come back, we're going to talk about a brief history of communication models.